Welcome Libra, here's your Celtic Cross reading with me, Barbara, at Tarot Insight. Lovely to have you with me. Okay, I'm going to show you a few messages you've got from other decks as well here. And today I'm going to finish off with the wishing bowl for you, and we're going to align one of your chakras. All right, let's dive in. So I hope you've been well. Yeah, let's check out your energies. So we're starting off with the Hanged Man. So with the Hanged Man, this is quite a spiritual card actually, and it's can talk about looking at things from a different perspective. You're deciding to maybe, it's not a sacrifice that's an uncomfortable one. You might be deciding to sacrifice something in order to be a more spiritual type of person, because what they talk about with the Hanged Man is there's three triangles here which are talking about being more spiritually awakened, and they say sometimes, if you had money in your pockets, by hanging upside down, the money would drop away, which symbolises not being too attached to material things. So, therefore, being more spiritual, in your outlook and in your values. So, you're choosing to sacrifice something. Perhaps is there some area in your life that you're thinking it's worth sacrificing something, whether that's your time, your financial belongings, or maybe something in a way that you live that you're choosing not to do it in the way you'd like to in order to help someone else. As always they say with sacrifices, it's all very well if you're doing it for maybe a one-off, it might be something you decide to do to help someone out that's, it's unusual, but you've got to be careful with this Hanged Man, that you're not too often putting other people's needs before your own. So especially Libra, I know you can tend to be the type of people that you want to make sure everyone's okay, and you're worrying about their situation or what's going on in their lives. So sometimes it's really important to make sure you're putting enough energy into your own situation and not sacrificing too much of your time and energy on other people. Okay, so and then beside you, you've got this coming across you as the Four of Cups. So this can talk about sort of a reluctance in some area. You're not feeling emotionally fulfilled, you're feeling quite reserved, and you're hanging back. So it could be that you're debating about something in a spiritual way. You might be holding back, or it could be that you're having to sacrifice yourself in such a way that you're becoming to feel emotionally unfulfilled and dissatisfied. So let's see as we go forward what's going on around you. It doesn't feel like that's going to last, to be honest, that feeling of boredom or stagnation, because you've got really positive cards either side of you here, and as we go through to the rest of the reading, they're very positive actually. So it's a temporary feeling of being unfulfilled, because above you you've got the Chariot card, which is Cancerian energy. So even though you're Libra, you might have Cancer in your chart strongly. It's always worth checking out your rising signs and your Moon and Venus. And with the Chariot card, it's very much talking about harnessing which direction you want to put your energy in. So where you're maybe debating and holding back about something, you're then being able to go forward and be very specific about how you go forward. And there isn't any sacrifice in this card. This is bold direction and going straight ahead, so it doesn't look like you're extremely efficient and competent in the way that you're heading with the Chariot. So it's, we all have light and dark forces within ourselves, but you're able to harness those, and maybe after this time of contemplation that you're it's the centre of your spread. It might be about some kind of it could be about a situation where there's some loss or something, but it's not going to hold you back because you've got such positive cards around you. So yeah, that's great with the dynamic energy of the Chariot. I mean, it can sometimes talk about someone having a new car, but that's a much more superficial reason, and I'm not feeling that's appropriate really. So then you've got the Sun card, which is blowing trumpets of celebration, because it's the best card in the deck. I always love to see this card come out. It's very happy, very successful as well. So yeah, as with the sun shines on everything, it makes it grow. Creativity, it's happiness. Look at the yellow and the orange here. So it feels like summer, so as you move forward in the direction you're choosing to go, after you've stopped this period of contemplation and perhaps having to sacrifice your contentedness and happiness, it's not going to be for long, because then we see the sunshine coming in. It could be about a union with another person. There might be someone around you that makes you feel this happiness, but it's definitely well, it's really in the centre of your reading, so it feels very positive. So in the recent past, you've got the Six of Swords, and this energy is where you've had some difficulties, or there's been some kind of emotionally charged an emotionally charged environment around you. So you've kind of, you look a little bit worse for wear here, you know, in the recent past, and so this is behind you. But there is harmony coming in. This is a number 6 in the tarot. It means harmony, and it looks like there might be some kind of companion or advisor that's guiding you in how you're going to move away from the choppy waters, and, you know, find a sort of more of a safe haven and a smoother path for your direction forward. And where there may have been some conflicts, and we can see the swords being, you know, they're put down, the sharp swords are being put down, so the sharp edges are straight down into the ground, so they're not active, which is a good place to be. Okay, and then as you go into the near future, as you move forward in the coming weeks, you've got this card here, which actually Gemini had in the last reading in exactly the same place. So I don't know if you may be involved with a Gemini perhaps, or someone with strong Gemini characteristics in their chart. And this one talks about healthy selfishness. So you might be choosing to progress forward. I mean, it looks like you've had to move away from something that was quite difficult for you in some way, emotionally was a little bit charged, so maybe in order to avoid any further confrontations, this does look like an avoidance tactic you've got going on here, which I think is fairly I can see Libra doing this. You know, you don't want to be having further battles. You really would rather avoid arguments or trickiness. So you're choosing to find an alternative route for your path ahead, which is avoiding conflict and aggravation. Yeah. So a healthy kind of selfishness there, but very powerful. You're looking, Libra, as you go forward. This is you, your energy as you. This is how we see you as you step forward into the coming weeks. And it's the Magician card. So with the Magician, you're able to actually control the situation. So whatever tactics you've got going on here, you know, these plans that you're putting into place and information that you might be gathering and using, you know, for your benefit, you're able to then create further with the Magician card the situation that you want. You know, however it unfolds, is you're in charge of how you do it. You've got all of the skills, talents and information and emotional intelligence to be able to deal with it. So yeah, you're in charge. You almost might look like a magician. People might think, how did Libra get to that position, or how did Libra do that? You know, they might have seen you as being someone who was maybe stuck in a position for a while, not seeming to be moving, and then all of a sudden there's a lot of change and a lot of growth coming along all at the same time. I mean, you've got the Sun here, you've got the Chariot, which is definite movement, and the Sun is, you know, growth and expansion. So seeing you as a magician is not really a surprise. So other people might look at you and say, wow, yeah, Libra's really got it going on, and you'll be seen as someone who's quite clever in their endeavours. So then you've got in your environment, what's around you is the World card. So I always look at this a bit as the world is your oyster, you know. So you've come to the stage of an end of a massive cycle in your life, and there's been lots of, you know, it can be years and years of growth, and a huge chapter basically in your life has been completed, and whether that's bringing up children, you know, you might be leaving the nest, or it could be an end of a cycle in a career. You might be deciding you've come to the end of the line and you want to change career. It could be also change in relationship or moving house. You know, there's a huge cycle that's come to an end. But with the World card, it's like you're graduating. You've kind of succeeded in what was required of you. The lessons have been learned, and now you're able to move on with that wisdom and knowledge under your belt, and you're qualified. You know, you've qualified in some area in your life. You've learned the lessons that were needed, and now you're graduating, moving on to the next phase in your life. So well done, Libra. Okay, so there's some sense of loss somewhere. I mean, this card does depend on the cards around it, and you've got very positive cards around it. So, I mean, with the Five of Cups, there is some sense of loss or a sense of sadness briefly. It's only a brief thing, and with the Fives it's change, you know, might be challenging energy for a brief period. But with this change, you've got to remember that there's 2 cups still standing, and with the positive cards around you, it's a huge cycle. I mean, I can't help feel that with the other cards, I can see a few other cards around you, there might be a sense of, you know, maybe you've got a teenager that's going off to university, or you know, a loved one that's moving away perhaps as well, you know, emigrating or travelling away, so you're missing having someone around you. But it's only temporary, you know, they'll be back again. It's not forever. So there are ways of keeping in touch with people that are not, you know, in your immediate area. You can keep in touch with social media and things like that. Yes, of course, it might not be the way it's always been, but you know, you can adapt, and you will do. Okay, so then we've got the card next to this is a really supportive and gorgeous energy of the King of Cups, and this is what I mean, is the loss it's not at all something that you need to worry about. It's a healthy kind of a chapter that's closing, and it was, you know, the end of that time or that phase. It was a natural cycle that was supposed to come to a close in the way that it was, but obviously everything doesn't end, it just changes. So, and with the energy of the King of Cups, so this is more Cancerian energy, so I do feel, Libra, you've got someone around you who's a Cancerian, or they've got strong Cancer traits in their personality, which is with the King of Cups, very warm, emotionally open person, very mature as well with their emotions. So, you know, someone that other people can come to and talk to about their feelings, and they'll feel like it's a safe harbour with the King of Cups. He's quite wise and gentle as well, you know, gentle and supportive with other people. He'll happily be like someone who'll offer advice, and is a natural counsellor as well. So if this is your energy, it's very supportive to other people, and they trust you. And if it's not you, it could be someone around you. I mean, maybe it's this person that you know you're seeing that's travelling, and you're you know, you've got them on your mind. But any which way, it's if you're on the receiving end of this energy, which is so warm and supportive and loving, very nice. And if you're the one giving this energy at the same time, it's also beneficial to other people. So it's a really lovely energy with the King of Cups. So yeah, very nice reading here. You know, there's a time of contemplation, a little bit of, you know, feeling a bit stuck in some way, but then you're charging ahead with the Chariot, and the sun's shining on you, and then there's movement here. I mean, it could talk about, that card also can talk about someone moving. So, you know, it might be movement of this younger person that maybe was in the home. It doesn't have to be a younger person, but for some reason I'm sensing it is. Maybe there's, and with the World card, yeah, maybe someone is travelling, and so that's where this card comes in, and it's the Wicker. It's one of my new decks of cards that I've bought for the channel, and it's the crow, or the raven rather, and this can talk about there being, you know, some sense of loss, or you know, a time where things have changed, and it's understanding cycles, and accepting them, you know, that everything has its time, and everything has its time to pass as well. Things move on and change. So I almost feel, though, with this, it's like an empty nest, and I feel like there's maybe a younger person that, like I say, has gone off travelling, or is away with work or something, and that's where you're feeling that. But it's a natural cycle, you know. It's accepting the lessons of change, and, you know, realising that there's often blessings in that too, you know. So look for the positive things in this. I mean, obviously, if you've got a younger person that has moved away, it's a healthy sign that they're not too dependent on you, or clingy, or needy. You know, you've succeeded in your role as you know, growing this young being that's able to then go out into the world and survive and thrive, without clinging to you too much. So this is brilliant. And they do say with this kind of thing, if you've got someone, you know, a loved younger one, let them go. You have to release them like a bird, and then they'll come back. So yeah, I remember a wise person once said that to me, as I have teenagers as well. They're still around, actually. But I know these days are coming for me too. Okay, and then you've got this is my other new deck of cards, the Wisdom of the Trees Oracle. So this is the white mulberry. And this card is representing, is talking about spiritual and emotional nourishment, and it guides you to creating stronger and more harmonious connections with others. So, you know, you might be required to find harmony, even though there's change. You might not be feeling very harmonious. You know, you might be feeling a bit of resentment, but don't allow that to be, you know, the dominating feeling. And it says it can enrich your understanding of other people's motives as well as your own, you know. So obviously, you know, people need to grow and change and adapt. And also in Chinese medicine, the white mulberry is used to cleanse the liver and send qi, or energy, flowing through the meridians. So it's a very positive card. I mean, you know, it's very much talking about harmony and balance, so in your relationship with others and even with animals and nature as well. So then we're going to finish off the reading with your wishing bowl. So this also ties in with the white mulberry, because I'm going to ask you to, if you sit in a comfortable position, and we're going to look at your heart chakra. So if you imagine that if you sit with your shoulders back and expand your chest, so make sure your spine is aligned, make sure it's nice and your back straight, but you're comfortable. And then the heart chakra is at the sort of centre of your chest, and if you imagine it to be talking about your heart and love, and so it's saying, by opening up your heart, you feel the joy and the inner peace of the universe. Okay, so if we start off by taking a deep breath in, we're going to do this 3 times just to help you get into the zone. Okay, Libra, so take a deep breath in and then release through your mouth. Okay, we're going to do it again, up through your nose and then out through your mouth. And then one more time. And out through your mouth. Okay, and so to open your heart chakra, and it's the colour green, by the way, so if you imagine there's a green light coming from your heart or coming in, flowing around you, around the heart chakra, it helps the flow of your energy. Okay, so we're going to listen to the energy flowing from the wishing bowl, and that helps. If you imagine the sound waves coming around your chakra, around your heart chakra with the green colour, it helps you to open up in that area. Okay. Okay, I could hear a vibration there, and it definitely does. It kind of resonates through, I can feel it resonating through my body. So, yeah, I'm hoping that helps you to open up your heart chakra. That's wonderful. Okay, right, Libra, that's the end of the reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be doing uploads all of the time. So if this is a new channel, so if you click on subscribe, it helps me to grow this new channel, and then you won't miss out whenever I upload a new video. Okay, love and light to you. Thank you so much for being here, and see you very soon. Bye bye.